Name calling. See, apparently that's what I get for defending my fellow females against someone possibly mansplaining what it's like to be a woman.
A man doesn't care if you love him. He cares if you respect him. You think love is what keeps a man. That's the problem. Love is emotional. Respect is behavioral. It's how you speak to him. It's how you respond when you're upset. Women need love. Men need respect. And when that man doesn't feel respected, he will disconnect. And it's not because you don't love him. It's because he don't feel it in your actions, and that's why it's not working for you. Respect requires control. It requires discipline, and it requires you to check yourself. So if you want that man, watch your tone, watch how you speak, and stop reacting off emotions. Because your looks is gonna attract the man, but respect is what's gonna keep them. I'm just saying.
The only men who complain about your body count are either afraid to find out how bad they are at it or jealous of the possibilities you've had and they never will.
Why would they be jealous? They only care because they don't want to be with somebody that's ran through, and yes, they don't want to be compared with other people, because obviously if you have all these other experiences to compare them to, the relationship is never going to work, because there's always somebody who can do this better. There's always somebody who could do that better.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Hey, Tickety Talk, this is your girl, Dr. Tiffany Hall. Listen, this is for my fellas. Like, I hang with some bad women. I'm not talking about like looks, body. I'm talking about that and personality and know how to take care of a man. Like, one of our things that we say often is say less. Like, say less. We say that all the time because if we see a need, it's just naturally, it is innate in us to feel a need for you. If you need some sheets and we at the store, we gonna get you some sheets. If you need some towels, we gonna get you some towels. If you say you don't have no, you need to go pick up some milk from the store, you ain't had no milk and we just happen to be at the grocery store, guess what we gonna do? We gonna get you some milk. Where are the men that reciprocate this kind of energy? Where are the men that just want to make your life easier?
For my birthday, and this man propositions me for like I'm a... Does this outfit get... Do it look like I'm tricking on the street? I would really love to know, like, what the gave him a mini skirt? I'm wearing a cowboy hat.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. You gonna tell him? So, don't tell him. Don't tell him. Don't tell him. Don't tell him. So no, baby, that looks fine. You can go to church with that outfit. You can go to the PTA meeting with that outfit. It is not giving. I'll tell you guys at this point.
I'm just No, it's weird to expect someone to be obsessed with you. It's not healthy. Not only that, but a lot of men have realized that relationships aren't reciprocal. That it's not worth it. That you're not entitled to a man's attention just because you're a woman. Also, it's incredibly entitled to expect someone to just be obsessed with you. And those men typically end up in the friend zone anyways, because you're attracted to the man that doesn't prioritize you, that probably talks rudely to you, that isn't there for you. A lot of good men have seen that and they've caught on where it's like, okay, me being myself and being kind and loving and understanding won't get me very far. And they've noted that.
Why is it so hard for the average girly like me to find a good man? Like, holy, I haven't had a boyfriend in 6 years. I have not had a boyfriend in 6 years. Like, I've had situationships, yeah, like horrible ones, but I haven't had a man like in 6 years. Girl, is it me or is it the men? Because I'm confused. Like, any man I come across, it's like, did you leave your brain cells at home or what's happening here? And another thing, I've been going on dates too. I've noticed on a lot of these dates, these men pop out to look cute. Like, okay, I forgot you were the baddie. Zero conversation be happening, like zero. But still wanna at the end of the day. Excuse me? That's not a train that I'm on, but I mean, I think my husband will come to me when I move out of the state of Massachusetts. Maybe.
Good boy.
That was the only right move by that man, because this is my theory. My theory, I can tell by the tone of her voice that it was very unnatural for her to say good boy to this man. This man is not used to that. He is probably used to being the one to say good girl, if you know what I mean. Like, there's certain dynamics in a relationship. Both dynamics can work, but I don't think that this was the natural course of things for her to say good boy. Now, for whether it was for the video to post on social media, it probably was, or if it was some sort of like relationship test, I think that both are possible. And if you guys are getting this in your real life, it's probably not for a video. That woman that's doing this to you, she's testing you. And if I know anything about you guys, you do not like to be tested. Hence, again, why his reaction is golden. Do not accept it. However, the beard didn't deserve it.
You cannot get a man of value with multiple kids and multiple baby daddies, baby. I'm so tired of hearing this. And what's crazy is I'm hearing this from women who have no kids. Like, who have no kids. When I say I've never had a problem getting a man to want to do for me, be with me, provide for me, and I had 2 kids with 2 different fathers. I've never had that problem. What y'all are doing is telling these women to lower their standards because these type of men do not accept them, and that is so far from the truth. I've seen women go from projects with the kids to millionaire men. So please do not put that false narrative out there, especially if you don't have kids yourself. Okay, now I'm on the road with my kids right now. For my son's AAU came, and I was just in Nashville with my daughter. Most men are like, I love seeing you with your kids. I love seeing how active you are because you are showing me what you will be to my kids. How great of a mother you will be. So, please do not listen to these fake narratives out here. Anyways, I'm your girl, J Monique, and 2 can play that game right. Make sure you like, comment, and share to a friend that needs to hear this.
Oh dear. It seems we have yet another instance of someone trying to utilize an overly popularized buzzword, tone policing, in order to try to make their argument for them, in addition to trying to silence those who would oppose them. And the funniest part is, and no, it's not just the fact that they use the term incorrectly, but it is the fact that if someone hadn't been so emotionally invested in the subject matter at hand, then they would have realized, by using critical thinking skills, that telling someone to use rational thought instead of leading with their emotions in no way constitutes tone policing. But I thought that would have been common sense. But then again, we do live in a world where a lot of people tend to make decisions based on how they feel at the moment, or how others tell them, heaven forbid, they should feel, and they go with those feelings instead of making decisions based on actual factual information. Just imagine a world where more people actually thought critically and used common sense when making decisions. I think the world would be a much better place. But no one ever said that emotions were weakness. They have their place, as does rational thought. And the important thing to remember is when they should be used.
Everyone's talking about how GLP-1s make you lose weight. No one's talking about what happens when the shots stop. The hunger comes back. The cravings come back. The emotional eating, it never left. Because the injection changed your appetite, but it didn't change your habits. You lost weight, but not the identity that created it. And when the dose stops, your body remembers everything you didn't rewire. The skipped meals, the stress binges, the all or nothing mindset. You didn't fail the medication. It failed to teach you discipline. Because the truth is, you can't outsource self-respect to a syringe. If you don't fix the root, your habits, your beliefs, your nervous system, the weight will always find its way back. You don't need another injection. You need integration. You need to learn how to eat, move, and think like the woman who keeps the results without the drug. Because real transformation isn't losing the weight, it's becoming the kind of woman who never needs to.
how would y'all have went about the situation? Would y'all have clipped her wings right there? Honestly, because honestly speaking,
I like that.
I didn't leave. Honestly speaking, I did not leave.
You should have.
Wait, what? Yo, I put up with her for like probably like another year after that, bro. But I just gave the same energy she gave because she was a cheater, but she was a great partner. She was, you know, she was a cheater.
Let me tell you something.
Great partner. No. Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, got it.
Once you get that thing up, you're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. That's it. Once a woman lets another man conquer her, she is finished. She's for the streets. Because, you know, a lot of women don't want to accept that they cannot do what the man can do. Absolutely not. As unfair as it is, that's just how it go. What is it that I say? A key that can be unlocked with any key is useless. A key that can open any lock is powerful. As much women as say, oh, I got my get back, that is not a get back, that is not a flex. And the only person that you're hurting is your father. That's not a flex. Women cannot do what men can do. Once a woman cheats, that is consent. Cheating is not the same for women that it is for men. And the sooner women realize that, the better the world will be.
Yeah, seriously.
And you have a lot of these interviews that might be on a college campus, and you're seeing in real time what the young ladies are learning. You're seeing in real time what they're doing on campus. And a lot of times it's not good. It's not good. I wish we can go back to the days where you went to get an education and you were actually educating yourself with stuff that actually mattered. My mom went to college to be an accountant. She was an accountant for 30 years. She made good money. Bought her own house, had a car, the whole 9 yards. And that was back in the 1970s. The 1970s. She was doing that. All of that. Sisters had the same thing going on too. Back in the 1970s. So it's possible to go out there, not get involved in foolishness, and still be successful. But then again, grandfather was very, this is what you're going to do. This is where you need to go. This is how you need to act. And there were some situations that happened in the family to where he had to navigate around those two. Right? And this is modern women. They go out and they create issues. But when a man steps in and says, I need to solve this, let me help you, let me get you out of this situation, and they say okay because they're exasperated. Modern women are they're frustrated, they're tired. But when a man starts to get you out of the situation, as soon as you get a little bit of breath, then you up nagging him, complaining, talking about how he's not doing it right, how he's not doing everything to your standard. But when we were doing things to your standard, this is how you got to the certain place in the position that you're in right now. That's why we're not doing it to your standard and your code, because you don't know what you're doing a lot of times. So not really going to be listening to that type of stuff anymore, right? That doesn't mean that you don't have any input, but I'm weighing that with, okay, how do I make sure that you stay safe? You go on the straight and narrow. You're not out here doing things that you're not supposed to be doing and getting yourself out of something or putting yourself in something that you cannot get yourself out of. A lot of times men will go in and put safety, put mechanisms and guardrails to keep modern women safe. And they don't recognize it because they're hard-headed. They think they're educated, but they're really talking a load of nonsense is really what it is. They go get involved in things that don't actually matter. It's a good conversation starter. It's a good, I wonder why that's like that. But just in terms of how does this push society forward, their priorities are completely off. And they will get in a man's face and try to gaslight him and tell him that he's going wrong, but it's really you.
For any of you guys that have not heard about this TikToker that became the Bachelorette and she filmed her whole season and it was about to come out on Sunday, and then her ex-boyfriend released a video from 3 years ago where she is beating him, choking him, and throwing chairs at him in front of her 5-year-old daughter. Let me just summarize how this is a prime current example of how society views men versus women and the complete double standard that is still there. Women are coming on here on this app that have big followings, right? They are creators and they are defending this woman from doing what she did. They are claiming that it was reactive, right? So like the stuff that we didn't see before this video just made her act that way, which is a prime example of what men face because women continue to not be able to take accountability, and they can't even watch another woman take accountability for her poor actions. But the evidence of what this woman did to him was already there. It came out 3 years ago when she pled guilty to the charges, and she like openly talked about it on her TikTok and how she was like trying to improve herself and make amends. But even with that, she continued to become successful on social media, and she ended up being on 2 major shows. That alone would have never happened if a man had that kind of backstory. Last thing that I'm gonna say about this is that women are also coming on here and questioning the timing. They're saying that it just contributes to the evidence that this man has continued to try to tear her down. But if genders were reversed, we would be absolutely praising a woman for giving the information and for releasing that video. Because in that case, you know, she would just be telling her story and saving other future victims. Yet when a man does it, he releases it, all of a sudden, he is still the problem. Make it make sense.
If you are a man over 30, I'm pretty sure you have seen this before. But this was the first time I encountered it, and I was completely taken aback. I made a video saying no one will give you better advice than a man who sees you as his wife. So my friend who's in her 30s and don't typically watch my videos, somehow she watched that one. And she called me to tell me she didn't like it. Not because of the message, but because of one word, correction. She said the word correction made her feel like a child, that no man should correct her. He should advise her. Help me understand where you're coming from. What do you think correction is? And I kid you not, we spent about 20 minutes going back and forth. Definitions, explanations, examples, tone, the whole shebang. And at the end of the conversation, after all of that back and forth and explanation, she still said the same thing. The message is good, just not the word. She told me I had to fix the word. And that's when it clicked. I said to her, do you realize what you just did? You manipulated the conversation. You took a message about guidance and growth, and you turned it into a debate about a word. Now the focus isn't on the merit of the message. The focus is now on how the message made you feel.
Men, stop trying to save crazy women.
Damn straight.
Men, stop trying to save crazy women. Men's biology is that of a role of a protector and provider, and that is completely natural. The issue is that you're getting your natural role confused when you choose unstable women that you think you can fix or rescue. You cannot choose a woman that is a hot mess and then expect to have a peaceful, partnered, wonderful life and then be shocked, disappointed, and angry, usually at all the other women on earth, that it didn't work out. You got into this mess because you confused your role, you didn't filter for the right things, and ultimately you chose poorly. And yes, women are just as guilty of this offense as men, but again, we are talking to men this month. So how do you move into the protector-provider role and away from trying to be the fixer-rescuer? The easiest way, with the best guarantee, is by choosing a woman that is already a fully functioning person when you meet her. And by that, I mean you should choose someone who is already running her life independently and with a reasonable semblance of order. She should have her life sorted out in most areas. Her health, her home, the way she manages friendships and relationships, the way she manages her children, and her relationship with her exes. But most importantly, it means that she has the ability to financially support herself of her own merit. You cannot expect someone who has never supported themselves, never paid their own bills, never learned the difficult lessons that come with starting at the bottom to respect your efforts to navigate life as a provider. It is so extremely rare to find someone who has been handed everything, who also has a reasonable set of expectations about what they deserve from someone else. You are always going to be fighting an uphill battle from someone that is operating without a framework of participation. The right woman for you shares your values, and unless you are independently wealthy and looking for a woman to drape in diamonds and Ferraris, then I highly urge you to choose a woman who understands the importance of hard work. Once you find this woman, you can step into the role of provider and protector in a partnership. You'll have a woman that you can provide for in the most healthy way, which is by alleviating part of her burden that she already shoulders. I'm Charlotte Vaughn. Follow me for more advice for guys this month.
Fellas, I'm gonna need y'all to watch this, and I got a question for you after the video.
Are you lady or lady boy?
I'm a lady.
Really?
Yes.
Are you lady or lady boy?
Lady.
Really?
Boy.
Are you lady?
I'm lady.
Really?
I'm lady.
Are you lady or lady boy?
I'm radish, vegetable, organic.
Vegetable?
Yes.
Are you lady or lady boy?
I'm lady.
Really?
I'm lady. Oh.
Are you lady or lady boy?
Oh no.
You don't know.
All right, fellas, my question is, how many of them do you believe is a natural woman? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you. 1. That's right, 1. Not 2, not 3, 1. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. The original video that I saw, the man said there was only 1 natural woman in that group. That's crazy, right? But to be honest with you, I don't really care how many was in that group, because once the word ladyboy start being thrown around, I'm out of there. I don't care how many natural women are in there. I'm out. But to be honest with you, if this is true and those were majority men in that lineup, that is scary, because I'm not going to lie to you. Some of them definitely tricked me. So I know they're tricking other people. But yeah, I want nothing to do with this. Thailand is not on my places to visit list, so I ain't got to worry about that anytime soon. But if you plan on going over there, you might want to ask some questions is all I'm trying to say. I can see it now. One of those rookie passport brothers on the flight over there to Thailand, and he's all excited. So he's on there trying to talk to all the girls. He even got a couple of them to go to the bathroom with him to join the Mile High Club. But then he found out they were ladyboys. And after finding a couple of those baby pythons, he's gonna be on there sounding like Samuel L. Jackson.
I have had it with these mother snakes on this mother plane.
How do men overgive in relationships? Yes, men do overgive. I know it's a common thing that people are like, oh, it's women that overinvest or over function in relationships, but men do it too. And this is one of those things that men don't get enough credit for. But I'm also gonna kind of help you stop doing that so you're not hurt. And if you like my stuff, please subscribe and like my channel, please. Thank you. Okay, first, provider overdrive guy. This is the guy that steps in and pays for things very quickly. I know there's a lot of providers out there, and this is part of your value system and who you are, and that is perfectly valid. But you need to be careful with this, because sometimes you do attract users. And sometimes this might sound like just paying her rent for a little while until she gets on her feet. Paying for all of the dates constantly, doing extravagant stuff based on what she wants, not what you want. And you start to feel like a wallet rather than a human being. It's important to not do this early, because that's what those types of women that use people are looking for. And sometimes deep down you do this because you're afraid she might pick a better option, so you're trying to kind of overcompensate a little bit. Or you feel like you're not enough as yourself, you're only enough with your money, which couldn't be further from the truth. A woman that genuinely loves you will love you for who you are and just being around you, your energy. She'll love that about you, not what you provide. How do you fix this? Keep the dates reasonable. Don't start paying for things too soon. Don't be paying for car repairs 2 weeks into the relationship. Only help when you see stability from her and she does reciprocate in some ways. Like maybe she brings you homemade muffins on the second date or something. And next, the rescue mission type of guy. You tend to attract women that They have a lot of trauma. They've been through this and that. You want to save her because you genuinely care about her. You see her as sweet and kind, and you want to pull her away from those bad situations. She probably has constant drama with family and friends. Or she might say, no one has ever loved me right. All of my exes treated me like crap. And you believe that. Maybe she has mental health issues and she's not addressing them. That's the big one. Not working on it. Not working on getting help and addressing those. You cannot magically fix her issues. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink type of thing. And sometimes you mistake the intensity of the relationship for connection, and that's not actually the case. And you also feel good because you feel needed. And sometimes it can be hard to date a woman that's pretty self-sufficient on her own because you don't feel as needed. But often what happens is these relationships are incredibly draining and they expect to be able to rely on you indefinitely, even when you're broken up or divorced. You have empathy for her issues without jumping in to fix it. That's the resolution for this, is so you're not ending up as a caretaker rather than a partner. Next, the guy that ends up paying just to have peace in his life. You let her constantly nag you, insult you, and guilt trip you. You walk on eggshells, and you apologize just to end the argument because you're starting arguments every 5 minutes. You might constantly cancel your plans with friends or family because she's moody that day. She uses tears or threats or withdrawal to get what she wants. She fully steps into the happy wife, happy life instead of happy spouse, happy house. You become afraid of asserting yourself in the relationship because you don't want to lose her. The reality of these types of relationships is no matter what, she will lose respect for you at some point. If you overgive, she loses respect anyways. But deep down you know if you push it back, she'll cause chaos and drama and there won't be any peace in your life. So you're paying for the peace with your peace in a way. These relationships are incredibly common and very sad. So how do you fix this? Sometimes you just have to leave, but setting boundaries and not apologizing for them. Stating your needs once and then taking action if she doesn't follow through. Don't put up with her threats, meltdowns, or silent treatments. And be prepared to walk and follow through with anything that you promise will happen. For a lot of men, they overgive because they don't want to start over, they don't want confrontation, they don't want rejection, or they don't want to face the truth that she might not be that into him. That's something to keep in mind. So instead of keeping your standards strong, you start making sacrifices early. And that's something to keep in mind so you don't get hurt. For a lot of men, they use overgiving as a way of buying love into their relationship. And this is not always with money. For some men, it's fixing things, it's doing favors, it's tolerating her bad behavior. And it's important to stop and ask yourself, is she reciprocating? Is she stable? Does she take accountability? Does she respect your boundaries? Does she add peace to your life or does she consume it? Next, create a threshold for yourself of how much you'll give without any reciprocation, or how much you'll give in general without sacrificing your peace. It could sound like, I don't give financial support until commitment. I'm not exclusive until we agree about it. No constant texting early, instead you talk to somebody else in your life. And having no tolerance for disrespect.
Psychologically, women cannot help themselves but to project who they are onto others. So every single time a woman talks down on a man and says that he's a pervert or gross, it's because she immediately thinks a perverted or gross way because she is a pervert and she is gross. Imagine a 37-year-old man saying that he wanted to start settling down and having kids, and the kids he wanted to have were these 20-year-old women. You would look at him like he's a disgusting, gross pig. But then you sit here and look at this and justify it and think that it's okay and that it's acceptable behavior. The craziest part is these men will look at these adult women as adults, but you are quite literally referring to them as children. The kids you're referring to are adults, right? But you're making it weird and gross and making it something that it doesn't have to be. But women are also fetishizing the age difference. For women that are older, it's a badge of honor to have. It's even more of a badge of honor for an older woman to have a young stallion than for an older man to have a younger woman. It's a statistical fact that women get married in their mid-20s and men get married in their mid-30s, or actually early 30s rather, and that's specifically because at that point, that's when they start developing the financial freedom to start having women become options, right? Younger women will always want a provider, and that is just a statistical fact. That is why women marry younger, and they typically marry men that are older than them. But women fetishize, right? It's typically not common for a younger man to be married to a woman that is older, right? Because that means she's the breadwinner. She's controlling the situation. Women that are typically in situations like that are predators actually preying on men. And it's actually disgusting how women will project that onto men and say that that's what they're doing when really they're the ones that are disgusting and gross. Men just want a woman that submits and listens, and older women typically don't do that. They're set in their ways, which is why they're 36 to 38 and they're unmarried, right? So they typically date younger because younger women know how to keep their mouth shut and know how to listen because they're getting provided for, right? So at the end of the day, that is why men date younger, specifically because younger women appreciate them, value them, and know how to learn, listen, and be guided and led, right? Older women date younger men just because they're younger. Older women target younger men. Older women typically don't even want men their age, right? Older women want something that's younger, and that is what is gross.
So there was this woman talking about how women in general don't leave a good man, right? There must be something that was appealing out there that would make this woman leave this man. that would force her, that would drag her away from this man. There must be something out here that's appealing, right? Because there's never been a situation where a woman has gotten on this app and said, oh my God, I regret leaving that man. He was a good man. I saw this over here and I thought that's what I wanted. And so that's what I went for. And now, I mean, it's all better now because I've gone back and I've apologized. But, you know, I definitely fumbled. And when you hear those types of stories, it's actually very sad. It's actually very sad because you do all of this work to find somebody that actually cares about you. And then not only do you walk out on them and say, well, you're not the person for me, but a lot of times, these modern women are so sure that this man, this new man, is going to be the one that they dog out their old man. They dog him out. They're all over social media, trashing this man, roasting this man. You got a little pee-pee. You ain't even that great in bed. Your money ain't even that long. You broke. Even though this man is making a good amount of money, a great amount of money, fantastic amount of money. Oh, well, the house really wasn't all that. I know billionaires that have better houses, that type of stupidity. And then they go out there, get pumped and dumped, and that, oh, you think that I can move back in with you? I'm falling on hard times. And then they on the internet talking about, well, you know, even though we weren't the best of friends, or even though we had our problems meaning you trashed them on the internet and then you got ran through by other guys. Those are the problems that we're talking. Even though we had our differences, those are the differences. Those are the differences that we're referring to. Well, even though we had our differences, we were still married. Like that's supposed to mean something. Like our relationship that you walked out on is supposed to trump anything and everything. It doesn't. You guys have a problem with going out there and disrespecting men, walking out on men, leaving men because a man didn't do exactly what you wanted him to do, because he didn't march to the beat of your drum every single day. And so you get on this app talking about, well, we don't leave good men. You do, actually. Well, if we did, and if we do, we don't, but if we do, then this is the reason. No, the reason is you're undisciplined. You're a bad partner. You're a terrible spouse. You have bad behavior. That's the reason. We don't need to hear nothing else. That's the reason. That man wasn't putting his hands on you. That man wasn't talking to you sideways. That man wasn't leaving you alone with the kids, not helping you out. That man wasn't not giving you anything that you needed. Buying you a stay-at-home mom. Hey, here's some money. Go get whatever you want to go do with it. and paying for stuff, taking you out on date nights, you got same access to the checking account that he does, you're undisciplined. Let's just go ahead and say that. Let's just go ahead and take accountability.